if you want to have not so much spoilery stuff, but really get a grasp for all the wacky stuff that we've done over the last however many years, decade, it's all, the majority of it is in our purchasable behind the scenes packages. Like, you have to purchase them, but those cover most, at least on like the surface level, to the point where we understand it, and you could probably catch a good grasp of like what we're talking about with all these different worlds and ideas. They're all in there. So yeah, if you really want to see some really cool stuff that is gonna, it's been a long time coming. We're gonna keep working on it. It's only gonna get cooler as we like really dive into it in January. From then on, is like the epitome and completion of what our last decade of work is all in these packages. So yeah, you can check those out. They're awesome. Yeah, lots to edit just to get them in there still.
So promotional material and just kind of getting that under wraps too has been, thing like it's involving like social media, but also like the new ideas of making the titles for each world,
right,
to hang up as a poster, and also like Robin with the crossed arms. It's just kind of in line with that stuff, but that's part of it's the packages related to the packages. Another part is kind of stuff I haven't touched yet.
Yeah,
but ideas.
It's more creative, like doing these kinds of things.
This too, I think. This was last month that we kind of set this up. Right?
Yeah, like that kind of stuff, like the promotional material. It's that creative stuff, and it almost like drawing Robin with her arms crossed or something. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome, and like it's in the flow of creating like the actual stories themselves, like Lantern Valley stuff, rather than packages where it's like. It's not really like the story.
Yeah.
Even though it's not quite the story, it's at least more in line with the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
for sure.
That'll be a nice shift just in itself. Yeah. That's one of the things that like I've done so many hard decisions related to that, regarding almost like negating parts of the story and just not doing it. Like a refined sprite workshop. I've postponed that so much because it's like we were talking about having a break when they came back from Lightbox.
It's such a funny thing. It's in one of the behind the scenes things. It will be, but he's like, at one time we were saying like we have this huge like 10-year plan or whatever, 10 plus years, and it's like maybe 1 year during there we'll like 5 years in or something we'll decide like we'll take a year break and we'll like just go on pilgrimages and do different things or whatever.
Which is something we talked about a long time ago too, and just bringing it up again.
And he was bringing it up, and then he's like, yeah, maybe we'll, we can take that break, and then we could, maybe it'll be when we start really getting into HH, and we'll be like working on HH and like bring that up to speed or whatever. I was like, what happened to the break?
Yeah,
you just said
every break. So like our break that we were supposed to take for a week when we got back from Lightbox,
right?
We immediately started talking about. All right, what is the schedule line up? What is this? What is that? And like we started immediately. And it's like, all right, let's start reviewing worlds. We really need to get into that. And like whatever.
I was like,
our schedule just crammed.
I was doing art and stuff before I unpacked about like making stuff and all that.
Yeah, we had like an entire full-blown schedule that was jam-packed full of different ideas and things we were doing before you finished unpacking the last thing. It was like day one. Day one of our week break.
So
and it's like we don't have a week anymore. No, it's gone. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Weeblue is like that. All those bunch of bubbles. Whatever those are, like kind of the eyes. So it's almost like a swarm, and that would be the thing that grows really big in terms of like Castle and Castle. Big swarm. All these things. That's basically Hickey's world. Just a bunch of puddles, bubbles with a bunch of like eyes and glowing blue things in there that look crystallized almost, but they're like blue. Crystallized as in like they almost look like glass blowing stuff, hardened, but it's actually liquid and jelly, and like energy almost. Like you can't really push on it, but it's not actually a physical object.
I was just reading this thing here about a Hickey is like. They are perceivable despite being on another plane. It can make a passable wall that's impassable, throw a book and it slams against it, or it can be passed through.
Yeah.
It only does something that interacts with everything that's beneficial for everything. Environment and it, using it.
Mm-hmm. They really are. It's almost like the plasma and the energy and whatever. It's like it's not really a plasma. It's more like a force type thing. So they're
Highly vibratory, weird energy.
Yeah, like it's like a force of nature type thing. Like it's the force of almost like anti-nature, counter, unnatural, supernatural force that moves and grows and develops and interacts.
It might be like the most like Star Trek-y world.